Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. And we have Marshallmatt, top tier in his Conway, tier 9 British TD, with a turret, kind of a heavy medium hybrid TD. Sort of a heavy medium hybrid. He's on the new map. I like to show the new map as much as possible, and he's got a good replay for us on the new map called Ghost Town. Spawned into the south in a standard battle, headed over to the west side, and he is going to head up to the Sniper Hills, a place you'll find a lot of TDs, as you will in the back about where the Tiger P is, or on the other side. So really, all of the edges of this map are kind of sniper spots. So he's going to come on up here, starts to get a couple lights. You can see a good portion of the enemy team has pushed into the northeast corner of the town right there. The reason they're not over on the west side is about to be apparent, because it's very swept by fire. See those big lanes right there? He comes up here, and I think you saw that Oni a little earlier. You might have been able to stop probably about 5 seconds before that and got a shot off a bit earlier. He doesn't want to go until he can see through the bushes right there, because I think these bushes are fairly sparse overall. He was seeing the outlines, and he doesn't want to get too close because he doesn't want to get spotted. But if you look at the spotting range, there's no way any of those guys were going to see you. Notice where the circle was. The white circle is right there, and they were all further, so you could have got up into the bushes. But, however, there's a lot of guns in the game, and that doesn't mean there's not somebody hidden inside that circle there as well. So, overall, a good technique, nicely done, and these guys are still wandering around. Marshall's team is filtering into the south side of the village, or the town right there, the ghost town, and starting to come over towards the west side as well, at least the black print. So, Marshall's driving around looking for shots, trying to figure this out. There's a 12T. That's a good thing. This is nice right here. I might have, yeah, there he did take the shot. Little snapshot, didn't get it, but good anticipation. He's anticipating that the IS looks like he wants to come this way, and potentially will uncover himself again over here. Looks like the defender goes by. The IS is still there. The 12T I mentioned is doing his job. He's actually spotted a Skoda that's camping up in the north, so that is a concern. Got to kind of watch what that Skoda's doing, but the IS takes a blap right there and has poor enough spotting that he doesn't see him. Now there's a Tiger 1 right there. I may have finished off the IS with that shot. I don't know if he thought maybe the Scorpion would do it, potentially, but he didn't. He's shooting at somebody else, or doesn't see this fight going on, and then you get the IS, which is fine. And it turns out it looks like the Scorpion did hit the Tiger 1, or maybe it was the IS-3, but in any event, you get both of them hit. So that worked out well for your team. The IS-3 is doing a good job. Thoracic port. Nice. Dealing with the defender there, staying hold down and not letting the defender get a shot into the hole. And it looks like the 12T has run off, so your canary in the coal mine up to the north is gone, and you've got to pay attention to what is going on with that Skoda. It looks like for the moment anyway, he's not moving up. It would be surprising if he came down right now based on how many tanks and TVs are around, but not impossible. If he comes up the top of that hill and comes sneaking around just to see what's over there, you and the Scorpion, it would appear, could be trouble. I might have taken that shot as well right there, but you're looking for that perfect shot to get one of these guys. The Mod 1 is side scraping pretty well, hiding up behind the Tiger 1. That's not a bad move on his part. Looks like the IS-3 got a miss on him. Maybe after the defender. Yep, there we go. We took a shot, but he pops back. Comet dies. And the T-54 Mod 1's down to a one-shot. He looks like he wants to get out, and nicely done. Anticipated him making a runner. Pre-aimed to where he had to go and took him down. And still thinking about what's going on with the Skoda. So, we're going to have a little event right here. When Marshall sent me this, he said, hey, what do you think about me going after the Skoda? And that's just RNG hooking you up right there. Nicely done, though. You took the shot, so it went in. And watch this. It's going to go pretty much exactly straight down the pipe. I mean, it hit exactly where the paper was. And now it looks like the Scorpion is thinking about, hey, what's going on with this Skoda T50 over here? And all of a sudden he's lit. And the IS-3 has been talking about it, because I don't know if you noticed this while we were watching, but the IS-3's hit points were disappearing. That's because there's a Skoda behind there sniping him and farming him. So maybe a little bit of a late reaction here, but you were shooting up to about the point you turned around. And the question from Marshall was, hey, what did you think about me pushing the Skoda? I knew I was going to take some hits. And as I looked at the replay, I said, well, it was a good idea. You really need to get rid of that guy. Your team is winning by a lot. And unfortunately, this game becomes a lot closer than it probably should be. And if anything, I probably would have gone around that corner much faster. With you in the lead, the Scorpion would have followed you up, and you may have already been over there shooting this guy. So if anything, I thought it just took you a little longer than you wanted to. We're going to come around here and we find him, and unfortunately, just as you're getting there, he pops up. That probably means he's reloaded and ready to fight. So we'll come around here. This tank is a great kind of medium-heavy TD. Right? It's got the turret, it's got a lot more flexibility. You eat all 3 shots. I'd fix the gun right here. Most definitely. I don't want to miss just because my gun is damaged here. The Scorp goes in, takes his shot, and whether it was you tracking him or maybe the Scorp tracked him again, he gets repaired and he dies. So I thought it was a good series right there. If anything, a little bit late. There's an RHM up there. I think this one actually hits him because I don't see, or it went completely over the hill. I don't know. But he doesn't disappear. You're winning 10-4. This looks like it's a wrap, right? So let's actually watch what happens. Down goes the KV3. We spent a little bit of time messing around. I would have ignored that. I would have given him one courtesy shot in there, and then I would have stopped shooting. And now let's talk a little bit about mobile TDs like this and the Scorpion and what to do from here. I think I would have pushed in and tried to help my tanks. That may have been a mistake based on the way this thing pans out. But my inclination here is we're winning, but I need to get my gun closer to the battle. What you choose to do is hang out, and it actually works out a bit for you. So let's see how it goes down. But if I could preserve that object 430, that'd have been great. However, it looks like maybe you wouldn't have got there in time. And all of a sudden, the 8.8 dies and the 430 dies, and now you're up here, and they own the town, minus the Su-100 M1. A little bit late on the anticipation with that, and we're going to head back over here. So now, Guido's inclination to move in, I might have been the only tank in there with a T-30, a T-26, yada yada, a one-shot to the T-30, a two-shot to everything else, maybe even a one-shot to the 103. I don't know if they can roll that high, but it's close. So we're basically forced into this situation. Now, all of a sudden, we're even, so I've got to hang out right here. And unfortunately for the poor T-30, he makes a huge mistake. He's right there. The Tiger P camped the whole time, and he went in. So he kind of did what Guido was talking about a little while ago. He saw the opportunity to go in and help, but he was a little late because he's slow. That being said, maybe if you and he were in here, so watch what happens. Oh, he does a decent job taking these guys on. It's just 1v3. And maybe had you been in there helping him and the Scorpion had followed you, that would have been enough to take these guys down. The Scorpion, though, has decided to go after the RHM. And now you're attempting to protect the Tiger P, who's moving back along there. He's on the other side of that building. And you have no shots. So following up behind him, being a gun behind him, let him be the lead guy. Scorpion takes out the RHM. That was a good kill. That was one of the dangerous things about moving in early. If that RHM had got a sight of you crossing that open area, he'd had a shot. But the T-30 is moving around. The Tiger P is doing his best. Gets down to 9 hit points. A 201 rolled by the T-26, who's probably raging right now. Down he goes. So he doesn't manage to kill anybody, but he takes some hit points with him. You're able to get a shot on the T-30 crossing, and then he pokes out there unwisely after having been shot by you from this area, knowing full well there's probably a TD up in these bushes, and down he goes, which was a good kill. You needed him to be gone because he was going to delete you with one shot. The other two, probably not. Probably not. So now we are trying to sort out how we're going to get in there. We got a Scorpion G and U. And the Tiger P, as well as the IKV, have been complaining about Penn for most of the game right here. So I'm not going to come down on one side or the other on this one, whether I thought you should have pushed in. I would have. Scorpion G gets a 103. That's very helpful. I would have pushed in, but it would have been interesting to see if I could have pulled it off, because I would have been pushing into a bit of an outnumbered situation, and depending on how you and the Tiger P play together would have determined a lot of whether this was a win or a loss. But now it's 2v1, Scorpion's up there, you're going to push in. You can take one hit from the T-26 E5. The cool thing about this, like I said, it's got a turret, it's got pretty decent mobility, and a really nice reload for as for the gun. It's only dropping, what, 400 alpha or something like that? 440? 400. And unfortunately, the T26 is a 2-shot. There's no way you're going to high roll that 600. And change, whatever it is. So we're moving in. We're going to speed this up. Nice little move right at the end. I want everybody to watch what he does here, old Marshall. He gets a bit wily with this T26. He's going to come around here. He knows it's on the backside somewhere. So he's going to be careful. He's not going to just drive around. He's going to come around here. The Scorpion's not quite in position. He's in an okay position, but he's still moving. And he gets spotted, so he just backs out. Looks like the T26 is in those bushes or those buildings or something over there. So he backs out. And this is great right here. This is something you need to put in your kit bag. Backs out. Turns around, he's probably still lit to about right there, and he starts moving this way. Now, whether he changed his mind or did that on purpose, either way it was fantastic, because by the time he goes dark, the other guy thinks he's headed that way. Maybe he's going to sneak around behind him, right? So watch what happens right here. You know as well as I do what's going to happen. He's going to show up right there. So the poor guy got baited. Actually, I believe Marshall said that he had baited him by doing that, so I think it was a maneuver on purpose. He's going to eat one shot, no big deal. The only thing that would have sucked there is if he got ammo racked or got his engine lit, there's a fuel tank lit on fire, or a damaged gun or something that you couldn't fix, although he had his kit ready to go. So that was really the only danger, was one of those kind of strange RNG things. Otherwise he was going to own him. 5,356, might be a little bit more. I don't know if that blind shot went in with the RHM. I'll show you the results right after this. 7 kills, nicely done, man. Just a very careful TD kind of game. I went over it quite a bit, beating that dead horse. I would have been a little more aggressive at about the point I talked about it, but as it turns out, nicely done. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it, and we will see you.